What is going on, beautiful people? We here. We are here. Welcome to the GoldBoys YouTube network. We are live for Fight Night, UFC Noche, celebrating Mexican Independence Day, and it's going to be a great card. It's going to be a great card. So we riding solo tonight. A little bit of a short notice. We wanted to put something together for the people. So I'm riding solo tonight. Couldn't get a guest, but we got some plans for the future. We definitely got some plans for the future. I want to get some heavy hitters in here, some friends of mine, some legends in here to break down some fights with you guys moving forward. So we're gonna jump right into it. Like I said, it's a great card. Um, Pay-per-view worthy card in my mind, but not a pay-per-view. A lot of chalky fights, but still, we're gonna make money either way. You guys know what it is. So, shout out to the sponsors first of all. Brought to you by Sleeper Picks. You guys know Sleeper by now. One of the best DFS apps on the market. They're running a special for Sunday night football, not Sunday night football, but Sunday football. Tyreek Hill, just 1 yard receiving. That's it. Free square for you guys. So check that out. Hall of Fame bets as well. One of the best research tools you can use to become a better. And pick it. You guys know about Pickett already. If you're not line shopping, you guys better be line shopping. And Pickett's the number one spot, number one app to go to shop all your lines, and that's what we will be using tonight to get the best lines for our bets. So shout out to the sponsors. See the chat's already going. Shout out to Nate. Y'all must have forgot moment from Bullet. I think so, my brother. I think so. We're gonna talk about that fight. Michael's in the chat. Appreciate you. Sanchez, let's fucking go. Let's do it. Go Boys Saturday nights. Shout out to Josh. Fernando's in the chat. Jose's in the chat, my guy. Tim is in the chat. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's start breaking down these fights. So try not to keep you guys here for too long. So we're gonna go over the fights that I have action in. I'm gonna go bottom of the card to top of the card, and we're gonna go like that. If you guys have any questions about any fights in the chat, feel free to put it in there, and we'll get to that. We'll get to the chat questions as well. So like I said, bottom to top. So first fight I'm interested in is the Charlie Campbell versus Alex Reyes fight. You see these guys facing off to the right of me. Alex Reyes, 13-3, 5'11, 36 years of age, 73-inch reach. Going against Charlie Campbell, the cannibal, 7-2 as a pro, 6 foot, only 28 years old, and a 72.5-inch reach. So this fight is interesting. I'm on the Charlie Campbell side. Obviously, Charlie, best price you can get on Charlie right now looks like it is minus 490 on the money line. So obviously, I'm not taking that. So he's a part of a little two-leg parlay that I put together, and we'll get to the other leg of that coming up here soon. I really like Charlie in this spot. So you guys have probably heard, if you haven't, Alex Reyes is Dominic Reyes' younger brother, and the layoff has just been insane for Alex. I think it's 6 years to the day, actually, 6 years to the day since he stepped in the UFC octagon. Last time he stepped in the UFC octagon was his debut against Mike Perry, and we know how that went. Mike Perry absolutely flatlined this man 6 years ago. So in between that too, Alex has had some health issues. I believe it was a spinal infection or something like that. And it was pretty serious. I was reading some stuff that said his life might have been in danger. So shout out to him for pulling through that. But the way the UFC is right now, all these killers, the way the sport has progressed throughout the years, 6 years out of the octagon might as well be 30, 35 years out of the octagon. You know what I'm saying? So um, I just, not having the UFC experience, right? He's technically been in the UFC for a while, but only his second UFC fight, Charlie Campbell making his debut in the UFC. And, normally that's a spot I'm going to try to stay away from, right? Guys making a UFC debut. Charlie Campbell fought on the Contender Series um, about a year back, a little over a year back versus Chris Duncan. And he got knocked out in the first round in that fight. So, took another promotional fight, won that fight, and now he's making his UFC debut. So, that is a little bit of a red flag, right? I try not to back UFC debutantes because we've seen the kind of stunts that they pull and kind of performances that we see from them sometimes. But I just think this is a great matchup for Charlie. Charlie's going to be the pressure fighter. He's going to be the higher volume fighter, more power in his hands. And, how can you trust a guy that has been on the octagon for 6 years? So I'm happy to parlay Charlie Campbell at this price. Even at this heavy chalk price, I think he finishes Reyes. I think it happens early in the fight. I'm going to go round one KO for Charlie the Cannibal Campbell. And like I said, first leg of my parlay, and we'll get to the other leg coming up here soon. So Yeah, pretty straightforward fight for me. I mean, not much to say. Minus 500 favorite. I'm expecting to win. So yeah, let's move on. Next fight that interests me is Tracy Cortez versus Jasmine Jasuda Vicious. This is an interesting fight. One of the Twitter civil wars of the week. I'm super excited to watch this fight. I like both of these women. I like both of their styles, but I heavily favor one side, and that side is the Tracy Cortez side. I locked in Tracy at minus 120 on FanDuel. The best price I'm seeing for Tracy now is minus 120 on Superbook. Pretty similar odds as some of the other books. So using Pick a Sports obviously to find the best price. But yeah, I like Tracy in the spot, and for a couple different reasons. I've heard a lot of takes on both sides, right? People on Jazz, people on Tracy, and people make good points for both sides. I'll start with what I like about Jasmine. Long for the division. Obviously, you see them in face offs right there. Going to be the taller fighter, the lankier fighter. So pretty tall for the division and super, super tough, super durable, pressure fighter, right? She wants to be in your face. Um, she wants to try to bully you. And I feel like that's where she finds most of her success for smaller fighters. We saw that in the Miranda Maverick fight for Jazz. I like Miranda Maverick. I think Miranda Maverick is tough, but the pressure that Jazz was putting on her kind of broke her as that fight went on. And Jasmine won that fight fairly convincingly in my mind. So, yeah, super tough, right? Super durable. Got that dog in her. Jasmine does have that dog in her. But that's kind of where the positives end for me on the Jasmine side. Moving over to the Tracy side, I'm happy. I was ecstatic to lock Tracy in at this minus 120 price. I think she has so many advantages in this fight. Um, on the feet, I really like Tracy on the feet. I think her distance management, her movement is good while standing. The striking defense is what, after taping Tracy, the striking defense is what I didn't love, but I think that is progressing. I think she's getting better in that area. She likes that kind of in and out movement, in, out, but she doesn't really move ahead a lot. And that's kind of what you don't want to see. Even versus not that technical of a striker like Jasmine, you still don't want to be getting hit in the face multiple times. So, um, but I think Tracy has the ability and has the technical boxing ability to keep it close and maybe even win minutes and win rounds on the feet. So, I heard some takes this week that, Jazz is going to dominate on the feet, and I really don't see that. I disagree with that. I think Tracy can hold her own on the feet, and I think we do get into some grappling situations. I think Tracy has almost all of the grappling upside. Her offensive wrestling is elite, not just good, elite in my opinion. Probably up there with one of the best in the women's flyweight division. Um, so I think if she wants to, she can shoot takedowns. I think there's several ways she can get this fight to the ground. She can offensively wrestle, shoot singles, shoot doubles. um, I think in clinch situations, Tracy's pretty good at outside trips, inside trips, um, and Tracy's fight IQ on the ground, I think, is so much higher than Jasmine's. So if they get into those, kind of scrambling situations, Jasmine makes a lot of mistakes. She makes a lot of mistakes in clinch work. She makes a lot of mistakes even when she's in dominant positions from top. And you do not want to do that against Tracy. Tracy's elite on the mat. So I don't see where Jasmine can win this fight. A lot of people, question Tracy's time outside of the octagon. She pulled out of her last fight for undisclosed reasons. A lot of people saying that it was mental health reasons and stuff like that. But we've seen her take long layups before, and come back and look amazing. It might have been her last fight. Let me make sure. Yeah, her last fight versus Melissa Gatto. She was coming off a year layoff, and she dominated that fight. I think she dropped the first round, but by the time the second and third round came, she dominated and won the round she needed to win that fight. She was a step ahead of Melissa Gatto every step of the way. So I love Tracy on the mat. I love Tracy in these scramble situations, and I do not mind Tracy on the feet. If it's a 15-minute kickboxing fight, I don't love that. I do want to see some grappling from Tracy, but I still think Cortez can win if that does happen, if it's a 15-minute kickboxing fight. So yeah, give me Tracy. Give me Tracy at minus 120, 1.2 unit play for me to win a unit. One of my favorite bets on the card, to be honest with you. So I like that. So let's see. Let's hit up the chat a little bit. Tim is in the chat. I think we shouted him out. My man YBB's in the chat. Shout out to my man. We did a Thursday night show breaking down the fights, kind of giving our early thoughts. So Shout out to him. YBB in the chat. Jason said, "Let's get this money, my G. Let's go." That's the plan. That's always the plan. Famous Jay in the chat. Shout out to you for being here. Victor's in the chat. Um, Ganjaman is in the chat. She took her time before coming back too. That's a great point. Like I said, maybe if this was her first long layoff, or if it was a 2 3 year layoff, I'd have more concerns. But we literally just saw this, right? Taking a year off, coming back. More training. He says too. Mexican Independence Day. That's a great point too. Tracy's of Mexican descent. So yeah, showcase spot. Jazz is 3-1 in the UFC, which is definitely respectable after winning on Contender Series. But this is a step up in my mind. Tracy Cortez is not to be fucked with. So look at the Twitch chat as well. We got Buddy in the Twitch chat. Was good. Let's win a shit ton of money tonight. You already know what it is, my brother. Dub is in the Twitch chat as well. So I appreciate you guys being here. Let's move on. Tracy for the win there. So what do we got next? So next fight that I'm interested in is the Roman Kopylov versus Josh Frem fight. Um, so yeah, middleweight fight. Roman Kopylov, 11-2, 6 foot, 32 years of age, 75-inch reach. Josh Frem, 11-4 as a pro, 6'4", so does have that 4-inch height advantage. I'm sorry, and a 76-inch reach. So yeah, this is a good fight in my opinion, but I mean, I'm pretty heavy on Kopylov. This is the other leg of that 2 leg parlay that I was talking about. So the full parlay is Charlie Campbell parlay with Roma Kopylov. That was minus 173 on FanDuel. Let me use the Picket Sports app to make sure that that is still the best price. Looks like it is. Looks like it is. So yeah, if you want to tell that on FanDuel, you get the best price there. But yeah, I just think there's a lot to like on the Kopylov side. The main hole in Kopilov's game uh early in his career was the grappling, right? We've seen him get out grappled several times by Duraev, out grappled him, Carl Robeson, out grappled him and submitted him, which is kind of crazy. But at this point, that those fights are the Carl Robeson fight was uh almost 4 years ago. Albert Durrett fight was almost 2 years ago. And the kid's been working. The kid has been not a kid no more. He's over 30. The grown man has been working. He's working in Dagestan over there with those savage Russians. We know what we get from these Dagestani fighters. You guys should know by now. So I love the work that he's getting. I think he's gonna continue to get better, right in his prime. And the hands, just the striking is what stands out the most for me. Fremd, I think I hate Fremd striking defense. I hate his movement. The guy does not move his head. A lot of people like to call it tall man defense. The guy does not move his head. So you guys see there in the face-offs, Frem is the bigger man. He looks like the thicker man. A little bit. Pause. And definitely the taller man. You know what I'm saying? So, I Frem likes to kind of strike from the outside, throw some kicks and stuff like that. But the striking is no competition for me. Kopylov striking is beautiful to watch. We saw it in his last fight, absolutely flatlining Ribeiro, sorry, in the second round, coming off 3 straight finishes, all KOs. And now he's rounding out his game in the area where he was weakest. I just think I think we're gonna see a lot from this guy. I think Fremd, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I think Fremd is a little bit of a fraud. Not being able to finish Jamie Pickett in that fight. Cedric Dumas is, I don't rate him as a high level fighter. 2-2 in his last 4 fights, 2-2 in the UFC. I just don't think this is a good matchup for him. Fremd can obviously wrestle in this spot, but like I said, Kopylov has been working. I think he's been with the training with in Dagestan with those boys for over a year now. So that's a lot of time to be getting in that work, that wrestling work. And that is the part of the world where you want to go to shore up that hole in your game. So I'm gonna get to this later too. We're gonna throw out a little long shot submission parlay, little round robin for the people. But I think Kopylov is live to finish his fight by sub as well. A lot of people expecting if he wins this fight for it to be in the distance, for it to be with the hands. And Kopylov does not have a sub on his record, right? So that's what makes it a little bit spicy. His sub is 16-1 plus 1600. There is multiple ways, and I talk about this all the time. There's multiple ways that somebody can lock up a sub, right? They can be BJJ black belt and be nasty from bottom or top, but they can also hurt their opponent, and their opponent, kind of crumbles to the ground, or shoots sloppily, leaves the head out there. And it's kind of, if your opponent is hurt and shooting like that, it is much easier to lock up a front choke or lock up your submission of choice. So at 16-1, if it was plus 900, plus 800, um, I'd still be kind of interested, to be honest with you. But getting 16-1 on that sub prop, I like that price, and I did lock that in, and that'll be a part of the round robin as well. But yeah, I think Roman finishes this fight. Frem can make it dirty, right? Frem can grapple, a lot of clinch work, stuff like that. But I think he can only do that for so long. So Kopylov also has some cardio issues. If you tape like 5, 6 fights ago, but I think he shored up that part of his game as well. So Kopylov can win a decision. I think he can 30-27 Frem, but I don't even think it gets that far. I think Kopylov finishes his fight most likely by knockout, obviously, as the odds would tell you, but I think he is live for a sub too. So yeah, Kopylov and Campbell, little 2 leg parlay, minus 172. If you don't like the juice, feel free to add something else in there that you like, and get some even, some plus money. Um, so yeah, shout out Jose. I'm on Tracy too. I believe if she's locked in, got herself together, she can come out as the winner. Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of what we're banking on, right? I'm hoping that we don't see that, right? I'm hoping that she's focused. We haven't really seen her be unfocused in the octagon, so that'd be a first. If she comes in and kind of looks sloppy. Dos Flacco's first time in here. Shout out to you, my brother. I appreciate you being here. Let's make some money. Nate in the chat again, Michael. He had Kopylov money line. So yes, Kopylov money line, but in a parlay, in a parlay with Charlie Campbell, Charlie the Cannibal Campbell, which we talked about to kick off the card. Oh yeah, my man Nate said that as well. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. So next fight I'm super interested in is the Daniel Zellhuber versus Christos Giagos fight. Daniel Zellhuber 13-1, 6-1. I mean, not 6-1, 6-1 for the height. Only 24 years old, 77-inch reach. On the other side, we got Christos Giagos, 20-10. So a lot of pro fights, 30 pro fights, standing 5'10, 33 years of age, 71.5-inch reach advantage. So, I mean, not reach advantage, 71.5-inch reach. I said reach advantage because it's already in my mind. You know what I'm saying? You guys see the picture right next to me. That was them facing off yesterday, and you obviously see Daniel Zellhuber towering over him. Going to have a 2-inch height advantage, a 5.5-inch reach advantage. He's 9 years younger. Um, I don't know if I'm already kind of showing my hand, but I'm on Daniel Zellhuber. People in GoldBoys already know this. This is a max play for me, a 5-unit play on the minus 250 on Daniel Zellhuber. I don't know if that line is still available. Let me check. So what do we got here? So Zellhuber, best line on Zellhuber using a Picket Sports app is minus 270 on FanDuel. So I talked about this on the Thursday show as well. I don't know, that's getting the minus 270, minus 280 is getting to the point where, 20-30 cent difference is a lot, so that's getting to the point where I don't really like taking that money line straight anymore. Some people hate taking minus 250 straight, by itself, but yeah, I thought that was an easy decision for me. 5 units to win 2 units on Daniel Zellhuber. That's by far the juiciest straight that I've played probably this year, but I think it's well worth it. I think Daniel Zellhuber can look minus 300, minus 400, minus 500 in this fight when you look back at it. And yeah, let me tell you why. I obviously told you the advantages that he has, the age, the height advantage, the massive reach advantage that he'll have. And the kid is only 24 years old. It's insane. Made his debut on Contender Series at only 22 years old versus Almeida, and kind of dominated that fight. In my mind, he lost the first round. Um, Not by much. I think he just got hit with the more damaging shots. I think Almeida was a little bit busier, landed a little bit heavier, and and forcing Zellhuber to drop the first round. But then he comes out and absolutely picks apart Almeida for the next 2 rounds, um, and convincingly wins that fight. And you saw right then and there, that was the first time we've seen this kid, at a UFC level, even on Contender Series, and I was thoroughly impressed. He made his debut about a year after that against Trey Ogden, and a lot of people want to hold that against Daniel Zellhuber, and while you kind of have to, right? He put it on tape. Um, he fought that fight. So you got to kind of hold it against him. That was his UFC debut. He was 23 years old at that time. And we see it so much. People making their UFC debut and completely laying an egg. I think he was still in that fight, right? I do think Ogden won the fight, obviously, but with him looking as bad as he did and still being in that fight, I can take positives away from that. If you watch Zoe Huber's other fights in the octagon, whether it's the Venata fight or the Almeida fight, and you watch that fight, you're watching two different fighters. Daniel Huber in that fight, the movement wasn't there, the striking wasn't there. He looked super hesitant, which you've never seen before. In the other 30 minutes that he spent in the octagon. So he just looked like a completely different fighter, right? What I like to see is the bounce back versus Lando Venata. Should have finished him in the first round, right? Um, Landed I think it was a left hook right into a front knee and dropped Venata and hit him with like 30 to 40 unanswered punches. I think a lot of refs in that spot are going to stop that fight, and it's a first round, TKO for Zoe Huber. But I think Herzog was in the octagon ref in that fight. He decided not to. Venata made it out the second round. Second round was fairly close in my mind. I can't argue with giving that round to either fighter. And then again, that's what I love to see in a third. If you think you're tied 1-1, Zoe Huber comes out and dominates that third round, in my opinion. Right. That's what I love to see. Right. I love to see that killer instinct. He came out super aggressive from the jump of that round and took that W. You know what I'm saying? Still was trying to finish the fight and took that W versus an extremely seasoned and tricky fighter in Lando Venata. So I think part of that too is Zoe Huber's training at a really good gym. He's at Extreme Couture. We just saw what Sean Strickland did. So you got that kind of championship vibe in the camp right now. Eric Nixick is his head coach, who is an absolute genius. He's going to be in his corner for this fight, which I love. So my man in the chat. Oh yeah, YBB in the chat. Zahuba by sub. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, my brother. We already talked about that on Thursday. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But yeah, I love Zahuba striking. Great boxing. I love his offense and defense while in the pocket, pocket boxing as well. At range, I think he's a little bit hittable at range. I don't think he uses his length as well as he could at range. But still, that's me kind of nitpicking. The kid is so tough, so durable. He's never been finished. In 14 pro fights, he's never been finished. Never even really been rocked. I think Almeida kind of rocked him. Not really rocked him. It was like a flash, half slip, half landed a punch in the first round of his contender series fight. But other than that, the kid is so durable and so tough. Only 24 years old. The chin is healthy. So I just don't see Giagos finishing this kid. For as long as this fight is standing, Zoe Huber is absolutely going to box his face off, whether it's from range, from inside. And to bring up YBB's point about Zoe Huber by sub, Giagos wants to wrestle, right? He wants to throw big looping shots to get into range, to wrestle. That's what he wants to do. That's another thing that Zoe Huber has showed. Elite, not good, elite takedown defense. We saw Ogden try to get him down. Ogden got him down once, but I think that was more of the fault of Zoe Huber, just kind of overextended on shots. But Ogden tried a bunch more times in that fight and had no success. Wasn't even close to getting him down. We saw Almeida try to shoot with no success. We saw Venata try to shoot a couple times with no success. So yeah, the kids' takedown defense is elite. So Giagos is not going to be able to work the offensive wrestling. Super super sloppy on the feet, super robotic on the feet, and that's why I think Zoe Huber is going to pick him apart on the feet. But if he tries to wrestle any fight that we think there's going to be, one guy trying to spam wrestle, the sub is always in play. Um, Zohira has two subs on his record already. Um, Again, we just talked about this in I forget what fight we were talking about, but anytime there's multiple ways to lock up a submission, I think Zohira is going to hurt him on the feet. I think it's only a matter of time. He might hurt him in the first round. So a wrestler's first instinct when he gets hurt is to try to shoot. So I think that's going to leave so many opportunities for Zohuba to lock up a front choke, to kind of change positions, maybe back take, stuff like that. Um, or even if Giagos is not rocked and he just decides to shoot sloppily, I think Zohuba can definitely wrap up a neck. So that was plus 550. My boy YBB said it was plus 500 now. So I think that is extremely live. That'll be another leg in our submission round robin that we're going to put out. But yeah, I mean, this is a fairly easy one. A lot of people feel some type of way about laying minus 250 or whatever. Me personally, I decided to absolutely lay the fucking hammer down. 5 units to win 2 units. I think Zoe Huber wins this fight. I think he finishes this fight. So yeah, kind of long-winded, but obviously I'm super excited about that one. You know what I'm saying? What else we got? Jam Rock in the chat saying, let's go. You've been rocking with me for a while. I recognize the name, so I appreciate you, bro. Nate Daniel. Daniel looks like he might have an eating disorder. That's crazy. YBB. Tim, what about Zoe Huber by KO, TKO, or points for minus 175? Um, I like it. I don't think this fight goes to scorecards, to be honest with you. So paying the minus 175, I think you can find some better spots. Maybe sprinkle a double chance KO or a sub because, like I just said, I think the sub is live. Maybe sprinkle some round props, some KO round props, get yourself some big plus money. I think I like that a little bit better. Nate YBB knows his ish. I'm jumping on the plus 500 if he's on it for sure, my brother. I love that. Dos Flacos, Kengezo Huber to win and over 6 minutes at minus 130 on DK. So basically, just need round two to start. I like that. I'm not too mad at that. I'm not too mad at that. Your boy Giago's got to last 6 minutes though. That's my only thing. So, um, Huber we've seen a trend in the 3 fights that Huber has been in the octagon. I think besides the Venata fight where he dropped him, before he dropped Venata, I think he was losing round one, and I think that is a pattern that we're seeing. He dropped round one in the contender fight. Drops round one to Ogden, and then was losing round one to Venata. So that might not be too bad, right? I think Huber can somehow lose this first round. I just don't see it. Giagos would have to land a takedown in round one and land control time to win this round, and I just don't see it. But like I said, Huber has been vulnerable in round ones, has dropped some round one, so maybe it sees a second round. I think that's decently safe. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm never gonna lie to you. I don't love it because that means Giagos has to last those 6 minutes, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all, my brother. What do you think, Huber to win by any knockout, submission, or DQ at plus 140? I like that. I like that. Basically a double chance. I like that for sure. Or just parlay Huber. You know what I'm saying? Like we said at the top, this is a pretty chalky card. So a lot of other favorites you can choose from. But yeah, I like that. I like that. Jamrock kick, yeah, double chance plus 140. I like that. I like that. So let's move on. That's a banger right there. I think we're gonna see great things from Huber. So yeah, let's move on to the co-main event. This is another Twitter civil war of the week right here. We got. I'm sorry, I think my shit just done. So we got Kevin Holland versus Jack Della Maddalena, JDM, the people's main event. This is such a great fight. Shout out to the matchmakers for putting this one together. Let me put my stuff on Do Not Disturb so that does not happen again. There we go. So yeah, great matchmaking here. Incredible matchup. I cannot wait to watch this fight. Like I said, the people's main event. Kevin Holland, big mouth, coming in at 25-9 as a pro, 6'3" in height, 30 years of age, 81-inch reach, which is incredible. JDM, 15-2 as a pro, standing 5'11", 27 years of age, and a 73-inch reach. So obviously that's the biggest thing that jumps off the page. You guys see them facing off right there. Holland's gonna be, let's see if I can do math. Holland is gonna be 4 inches taller, and Holland is gonna have an 8-inch reach advantage with the 81-inch reach, which is crazy. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of lines that are super close this week, like I've said multiple times, and this is one of them. Tracy Cortez is another pretty close line too, and this is the only dog that I like. Actually, not the only dog, but this is one of the only dogs that I like on the card. I like Big Mouth. Give me Kevin Holland. I got him at plus 120. Let me look at best odds now. Yeah, still plus 120 on BetMGM using the Pickett Sports app. And yeah, I really like this spot for Kevin Holland. First of all, Jack, I take nothing away from Jack. I love Jack. Fan friendly style, um, great pocket boxer, heavy hands, can hold his own on the mat as well, despite what people say about that Hafez fight. Just super fan friendly. A lot of hype behind him. What is his win streak at now? Super, yeah, 15 fight win streak. He lost his first 2 fights as a pro, and then reeled off 15 straight wins, right? So you can't disrespect that too much. Shout out to Jack, and there's a lot to like from Jack. Like I said, he's not going to be the most athletic, but he's going to get in your face. He's going to fight for your money. He's going to pressure. and he's gonna throw hands. I love his body work too. He works the head, works the body. Vicious in there, vicious brick for hands. But yeah, as I said, I like Kevin Holland in this spot. One thing you have to kind of concede is that I think this is a huge step up in competition for Jack Della. Jack Della's coming off the Hafez fight, like I said. Before that, for Randy Brown, Danny Roberts, Amiv, Rodriguez, and now you find Big Mouth, who has fought the who's who um, in two divisions, in the welterweight division and the middleweight division. We're talking about making his UFC debut versus Thiago Santos. I don't know if you guys remember or know Thiago Santos. When he fought Thiago Santos in 2018, he was like the boogeyman. Thiago was like the boogeyman. Nobody wanted to fight that man. He was knocking guys out left and right. Eventually fought John Jones, and in my opinion, beat John Jones with no knees. I think he had no knees in that fight. I think both knees were fucked up for Thiago Santos in that fight. So makes his debut against Thiago Santos, goes to decision in what was an exciting ass fight. Fights GM3, who we know, Gerald Meerschaert, been in the UFC forever. Um, Fights Brendan Allen, who is, I believe, top 10 now on championship trajectory. Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy, Joaquin Buckley, Darren Stewart, Jacare Souza, who he knocked out from the bottom, right? One of the most vicious knockouts I've ever seen from bottom position. It was crazy. Derek Brunson, Marvin Vittori, Cowboy Oliveira, Tim Means, Hamzat, Wonder Boy, Ponzinibbio, and then just for Michael Chiesa. That is the who's who in two divisions. So, yeah, huge step up for Jack Della, and I think it's a little bit too much of a step up. So, on the feet, I think Holland is a lot more versatile on the feet. Jack Della, I said this at the top of this breakdown. Jack Della wants to box, right? Jack Della wants to box. He wants to get in close. He wants to box. Holland is going to be much more versatile with his kicks to all three levels. Holland is gonna, I think, utilize his elbows more, just punches from all different type of angles, and that's what some people are saying, right? Jack Della likes to throw his straights, and straights beat looping punches, and I get that, but me personally, I don't question Kevin Holland's chin. I know Stephen Thompson kind of put him down in that fight. The only other time I've really seen Kevin super rocked was in that Dawkins fight, where they clash heads, and it looked like Big Mouth kind of lost consciousness for a second, and they stopped that fight and eventually ruled it a no contest because of the headbutt. But I trust Kevin Holland's chin. I trust his durability. So Jack Della's definitely going to land, right? He's definitely going to land. I also like the clinch positions for Holland. Like I said, Jack Della wants to get in close, and that's going to lead to, I think, a lot of clinch opportunities. And I think Kevin is just so versatile in the clinch. I think he's going to eat his body with knees. I think the elbows are going to be vicious from the clinch. Jack Della is also going to work the body from the clinch more with the hands. Um, but yeah, Kevin Holland is so dangerous in the clinch, whether that's threatening submissions, like I said, the knees, the elbows. So I give that advantage to to Kevin Holland. I give the advantage on the feet to Kevin Holland. Um, and yeah, I think it's just going to be super hard to put down Kevin Holland, and I think it's going to be super hard at times for Jack Della to find Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's movement, obviously super long, super agile, much more of an athlete, much more athletic than Jack Della, and I think that's going to play into hand here. So at plus 120 where I got it at, I view this, I think the line should be flipped. I think Kevin Holland should be a slight favorite. But worst case is a 50-50 fight, and then I got plus 120 in my pocket, which I don't mind at all. So I'm rocking with Big Mouth Kevin Holland. I think he gets it done. A lot of people question, people like to question these type of fighters for a couple reasons. One, because I don't know why my camera just got all blurry. Let me try to fix that. Um, I don't know how to fix that, but hopefully it fixes itself. So yeah, people like to question guys, especially big talkers, right? Kevin talks a lot inside of the octagon, he talks a lot outside of the octagon, and for some reason people like to think that he's less skilled for that. It's about what happens when that cage door closes. Kevin is extremely outspoken, you know what I'm saying, and that could rub people a little bit of the wrong way, but you know, this fight week, I talked about it with my man YBB on Thursday. This fight week, Kevin seems angry. He seems violent. That's the vibes that I get off him, and I love that shit. So, people saying, "Oh, he's not motivated to get the belt." He is motivated by money. I tell you, he'll tell you that himself. I don't have to assume that he wants money, and I don't know how his contract is structured, but 90% of contracts are, you get half of your money if you lose. If you lose, you get a show, you get your show money, and you get your win money if you win. So I'm assuming he wants to win. You know what I'm saying? Get double the money. Maybe he's getting points off the card, even though it's not a pay-per-view card. I don't know. I don't know. But he looks super focused when I watch him in media. Like I said, looks super angry, super violent. So I don't question Kevin when it gets in there. He can fight like a dumbass sometimes, but I think he knows the challenge in front of him. I think he has multiple ways to win this fight, and I think he is live to sub Jack Della. We've seen Jack Della be in compromising spots multiple times versus Hafez. I think it was a fluffy fight. If I'm no, I don't think it was a fluffy fight. Um, Forgive me, I'm forgetting. I taped this fight like 4 days ago, but he's put himself in some compromised positions and has been in some deep chokes that he has, heart of a line that he's fought through and gotten out of and survived and eventually won those fights. So you can't take nothing away from that. But I think if you put yourself in those positions versus Big Mouth, I don't think you're getting out of those spots. It's just that simple. Kevin Holland is way too good. BJJ black belt, way too good. Long limbs, tight squeeze. So yeah, I think at plus, I think his sub was plus 600. I think that is super live too. Take a 6-1 shot. He's also going to be a part of our submission round robin that we're going to do. So, um, which I have to send to my guy so we can put it on the screen eventually. So yeah, give me Big Mouth. I think Kevin wins this fight. I think he can win by decision. I think he will win by finish. I think he can finish Jack Della. Maybe a little bit of a hot take. I don't know. I don't know. You guys tell me. What do we got in the chat? Jason said, Holland. I'm on that same page, my brother. Jam, Holland all day. Jack should have lost last fight. Yeah, it was a tough fight. Jack was making weight twice in I think a 7 or 10 day span. And Hafez is no joke. I mean, you know, Hafez is not a bum. He gassed in that fight, but still kind of pushed through, caught a second win, and he was giving it to Jack Della. He was giving Jack Della all he can handle. So, yes, I think you can kind of fault Jack in that spot, but I think you got to respect Hafez as well. Hafez is a fucking tank. He's a tough matchup. So, and that's what I'm saying. If you think Hafez is a tough matchup, now you taking 10 steps up in terms of competition and you fighting Big Mouth. I think that's a little bit too much. Rocking with you, my boy, in the Holland train. Let's do it. Kevin by decision. I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible. You should get decent odds on that, I would assume as well. Christopher said he thinks it goes to the cards. I can definitely see that. Um, Jose Big Mouth all day. Wouldn't be surprised if Kevin hurts him on the feet and then subs him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm right there with you, my brother. I'm right there with you. Brendan, you forgot about the Chiesa curse. Ganja man, Holland by sub, I think is very likely if he rocks Jack and drops him. Yes, sir. He's quick with the neck work. Pause. Neck work. Come on, my brother. What are we doing here? Brandon, one on JDM split decision versus Hafez plus 2,500. Holy shit. 25-1. Good cash. That is a great cash. Shout out to you. But yeah, let's move on. We almost done. We are almost done. It is main event time. It is main event time. So let's do that. Sorry, let me crop this out really quick. This is one of the negatives of going solo. You know what I'm saying? I don't got anybody to buy any time for me. Here we go. Send. And that is done. Okay, so yeah, main event time. Main event time. Let's do it. Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso, part 2. And what a main event this is. Women's flyweight belt on the line. Alexa Grasso, new champion, 16-3 as a pro, standing at 5'5", 30 years of age, 66-inch reach. Valentina Shevchenko, 23-4 as a pro, including her last loss to Alexa Grasso. Also standing 5'5", 35 years of age, 66.5-inch reach advantage. I mean, not advantage, inch reach. I keep saying that. So, I would say this is another fight that, I've seen a lot of people that I respect and trust their opinion. I've seen them on both sides. I've seen guys taking the plus money with the champ, the new champ, and I've seen guys taking what they view to be a short price on Valentina. And I'm one of those people. I lock Valentina in at minus 165 on Caesars. Yeah, let's use the Picket Sports app to see what the best price is now. Best price I'm seeing is minus 155 on Sportsbook. So an even better price that I got. Let me see if there's anything comparable. Still minus 165 on MGM, Caesars. Yeah, pretty much everywhere. So yeah, um, still right around where I got it at. Yeah, I like Valentina in this spot. I like Valentina to get her belt back. Maybe a little bit of a hot take, but I think Valentina dominates this fight. Yes, you heard that right. I think Valentina dominates this fight. Um, a lot of people are making some points on the Alexa side. Some of them are good points. I think some of those points aren't really going to matter. One of those things being Valentina's age. A lot of people in the MMA community like to use that 35 years of age, that number, as kind of a deciding factor, which can be true. I saw, who was it? I think it was Bloody Betts MMA. You guys can look him up if you want. Super sharp guy. I think he said this stat that I saw earlier in the week and forgot to mention, but it was, fighters 35 or older after losing their belt. I think it was like 2-24 or something like that. Um, when trying to regain the belt. So that's a stat you don't want to see as a Valentina backer. Um, and that main the main component to that stat was the age, obviously 35 years of age. I don't think that's really going to matter with Valentina. I may be wrong, right? It didn't look like Valentina fell off a cliff, in my opinion, in the last fight. It felt like Valentina won that fight. It felt like not Valentina. It felt like Grasso just won that fight. It felt like Grasso choked her ass out. That's what it felt like. I didn't see any slowing down, any resemblance of falling off a cliff of Valentina. I didn't see that personally. Um, Valentina is a savage. Valentina is one of those ones. Valentina lives the martial arts lifestyle 365 days a year. At least that's what it seems like, looking at her Instagram and listening to her talk. She's not one of these people that are going to fight and then take a 6-month vacation and then get back into training. She's consistently training, helping her sister train, who's also a UFC fighter. Um, she lives that life 365 days a year. So 35 for people like that, when you're taking care of your body, when you're staying in shape 365 days a year, 35 may be the new 30. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna assume. I would have to see at least the beginning. The beginning of a drop off. I didn't see that at all in any of the fights. People like to say, "Oh, the Tyler Santos fight," and yes, that was a really close fight, right? You could have given it to Santos. I'm not gonna argue with you. If you gave it to Santos, but again, I don't think that was the decline of Valentina. I think that's a tough matchup. I think Tyler Santos is an extremely tough girl, extremely durable girl. So um, yeah, we look at how the first fight went. Um, Alexa Grasso starts off really well, right? Absolutely rocks the fuck out of Valentina at least once. Watching the fight back a couple of times, taping for this fight, she rocked her. I think Grasso rocked Valentina twice in that fight, just straight punches, and rocked the fuck out of her. So Alexa won the first round. Rounds 2 and 3, Valentina really gets that offensive wrestling working, and it's easy, right? She's getting takedowns easy, really really quick entries, getting to the hips super super quick, and the takedowns weren't even. There was no pushback from Alexa on those takedowns. Racks up the control time from the top in rounds 2 and 3, wins rounds 2 and 3, and then the infamous round 4. If you watch round 4, which I must have watched round 4 by itself at least like 10 times this week. It was crazy. I think Valentina was winning a round. Not that it fucking matters because, she spins. She tries to spin and kick her to the body. Alexa pulls off one of the sexiest back takes I've ever seen and chokes her ass out, right? So it doesn't really matter who was winning that round. It matters who won. But Valentina, I think, was winning that round on her way to what would have been maybe a dominant victory. So I like everything that I've seen from Valentina. If there's anybody on the face of the earth that I'm gonna trust to adapt, to remain as motivated as she's been throughout her career, and to make those small changes that are probably necessary for her to win this fight, is Valentina Shevchenko. I trust Valentina Shevchenko. So at this price at minus 165, I think that's a gift of a line, to be honest with you. Like I said, I think she dominates this fight. I think she wins the stand up. I think one of those adjustments that Valentina can make is being a little bit lighter on her feet. We don't see that a lot from her, but we have seen that. She was very heavy on her feet, very heavy on her front foot. Still kind of hopping a little bit like she does her iconic kind of stance, but she was still super heavy on her feet. So maybe she's a little bit lighter on her feet. Maybe she decides to circle more away from the power of Alexa. Um, and yeah, I think she goes back to the offensive wrestling. Obviously, Alexa is going to be training for that because she got dominated in the first fight with the offensive grappling. But yeah, I don't see. People are expecting Alexa to win by finish. I've heard some crazy takes, and I just don't see it. I may be dead wrong, but this is a 2.5 unit play for me at -165. That's to win about a unit and a half. Like I said, I trust Valentina, one of the most dominant champions we've ever seen on the face of the earth in UFC history. And while I respect Alexa, I really do respect Alexa. I love Alexa. She got that dog in her. uh, Mexican fighter fighting on the main card of a Mexican Independence Day card. There's a lot to like about Grasso. She is a dog. Alexa Grasso is a dog. I love the way she fights. Very clean, very crisp boxing. But like I said, I think Valentina was winning most of that stand up in the first fight. So Alexa's only been finished once. That was via sub in 19 pro fights. So yeah, she's a dog. She's tough, but it's Valentina season, baby. It's Valentina season. I think we're gonna look back once this fight is over and say, "Damn, Valentina should have been -300." That's truly what I believe. So, I see some people in the chat talking about Valentina decision. I think that is the most likely path. Is Valentina just dominating and winning the decision? Um, so you said +150. I think you kind of missed the boat on that a little bit. I think Valentina decision was like +190 earlier in the week. So just for that alone, I'd say you kind of missed the boat and maybe just take Valentina, lay the juice or put her in a parlay, whatever you guys want to do. YBB said JDM. Yeah, my man on the island. Yeah, my man YBB on JDM. It's gonna be a great fight. I don't think that's the fight we got the bet on. I think that's a Tracy fight, but you may have to drink another beer for me if Big Mouth pulls it off. Nate said, "Yeah, I must have forgot about the bullet moment." Yeah, I 100% agree. YBB, I love split decisions. May the best man win. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Jose, feels like this main event. I'm gonna sit back and watch. I just love Grasso here, man. But I know Val and I know what she can bring. Absolutely. I do not blame you one bit, bro. Sit back. Hopefully, made a lot of money already, kind of leading up to the main fight, to the main event. So yeah. Get your popcorn ready, get your Snickers ready, you know what I'm saying? And just enjoy it, my brother, if that's what you want to do. Count your money, right? Count the money we're gonna make leading up to that. Shevchenko decision +150. The correlation between Usman and Valentina is crazy. Yes, I said it on the Thursday show too. It is eerily similar how that happened, right? The champion gets finished late in the fight, turns around, immediate rematch, going into enemy territory. If I'm not mistaken, Kamara went into London for the rematch or the third fight. What was the third fight? But the championship rematch. And Valentina, the fight is in Vegas, but it's still kind of enemy territory. You know what I'm saying? It's a UFC Noche card. Um, Crowd is going to be full of Mexicans rooting on their fighters. Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. Great card, great fight, great card, everything. Jose, yeah, it was 2-28, I believe. Yeah, some crazy like that. Fight is 35 or older, rematching for the belt. Yeah, 2-28. Valentina's gonna be three, my brother. I'm gonna tell you that Valentina's gonna be three. Valentina's special. She is special enough to crack that trend. You know what I'm saying? So Jonathan Grasso keeps the belt tonight. Hey, I cannot talk you off. I cannot talk you off. I'm not going to rule anything out for Grasso. I respect it too much. Jose, hopefully, brother. If not, I'm gonna be under a bridge asking for quarters. Oh my god, homeless, straight homeless, bro, straight homeless. Ganja man kind of thinks Chev takes her down and gets her in crucifix position and wins by KO. I love that take. I love that take. I think I mentioned that on the show with YBB as well. I think a lot of things are live. Obviously, Alexa is amazing on bottom. She's amazing on top. Her grappling skills are definitely top notch. But if Valentina's in dominant positions, if Valentina has the same success with the offensive wrestling and she's in dominant positions, anything is possible. That crucifix that Valentina loves, I think I think Valentina got her in that in the first fight. I don't know. I did too much tape tonight. My brain is too much tape this week. My brain is fucking mush. But yeah, Valentina loves that crucifix position, so anything is possible. Grasso's a dog, right? So it just may take Valentina getting her in the crucifix and hitting her with 50 plus shots, and the ref pulls her off because Grasso's so tough. So I love that take. Um, all right. Brendan, you ever been to a UFC card? No, I have not. So the UFC was in Atlanta. I live close to Atlanta right now. The UFC was in Atlanta for the Izzy and Gastelum fight, right? And we know how that fight turned out. One of the best fights in UFC history. And my girl was like, it was like really short notice, right? She came to me that day and she was like, "Yo, we should go to that fight." We knew the fight was in Atlanta, whatever, but she was like, "Fuck it, let's go." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go." And then 30 minutes later, I was like, "You know what? Let's not. Let's just stay home. Let's watch it." I was that guy. I was that guy. Let's stay home. Let's watch it. From home. And I missed not only what was an amazing card, but was one of the craziest fights I've ever seen before. So I will never live that down, bro. Me and my girl still talk about that. It's crazy. Same how I just got out from under the bridge for that. I saw your fight. Did I miss the whole card, Brody? You just started with this. Yeah, you missed a big portion, but I'll do a recap at the end just for the people. So with Andrade, and she got her with that. Yep, she did, and it's happening again. Yeah, thank you, YBB, for that clarification. Yes, I think she briefly had her in that crucifix, and it's gonna happen again. My man YBB says. So yeah, that's the main event. So let's get to. We were talking about submissions all night. Submission. So let's get to the submission round robin that I love. We didn't talk about a couple of these fights, but I'll get into them really quick. Roman Kopylov, and this is a round robin by two. So you only need two of these to hit to get paid and make profit. Hopefully more of them hit so we get paid multiple times over. Um, I'm not the best at explaining, especially round robins. I'm just getting my fucking head around this round robin shit. So I'm not the person to to ask questions about round robins right now. But anyways, Roma Kopylov by submission. We mentioned that earlier. Plus 16, plus 1600, 16-1 on that leg. Obviously, that's the longest shots as the odds would declare. But yeah, I think Roman is gonna have Josh Frem hurt in this fight. I think Josh Frem is gonna panic wrestle or shoot because he's not liking what's happening on the hands. And Roman has been working with them Dagestani boys. He been working with them Dagestani boys. So I think Kopylov is at least gonna have chances to cash this, and that's really all we need. Lupi Godinez by sub. So that's a fight that we did not talk about. I did not personally back Lupi in any type of way straight. I didn't put her in any parlays because I don't trust her. I don't trust her. It's as simple as that. There's been fights prior where the easiest path to victory is her using her wrestling, which she is good at. She is good. She's a decent offensive wrestler. She's good on top. So just easy ways to pick up W's, and she just does not do it. Um, we're hearing from her camp, that's what she's been training, that's what she's gonna do. So I'm gonna take that at surface level. That is by far the easiest path. Elise Reed Elise Riga is taken down by a gust of wind. You know what I'm saying? You could put a little drop of water on her forehead and that's a takedown for you. You know what I'm saying? So Elise Reed has zero takedown defense. She is a fish on the mat. Does not know what to do when a fight gets there. So I'm gonna trust Lupi to actually fucking use her offensive wrestling and get herself in dominant positions. And I'm hoping that it ends by sub, which I think it will, as opposed to Lupi just kind of um, destroying her with ground and pound. So Lupi is the second leg. Fernando Padilla by submission. I know my man YBB loves this one. Same kind of thing, right? Plus 190. Padilla, we've not seen him use his grappling and his BJJ skills, but he got him and he was quick to remind us, like, yo, I've been knocking dudes out. I knocked out God, I'm just catching all type of blanks. Julian Erosa, Juicy J, knocked out Julian Erosa. I think it was after that fight. He said, "Listen, I've been knocking people out, but I want to show y'all my grappling. I want to show y'all my jujitsu. I want to show y'all my sub." So, this is another fight where I think Padilla is going to hurt Nelson. Nelson's been pretty durable, especially as a late. He's been a lot more patient, which has led him to not eat in as many shots. But I think Padilla is going to be looking for it, right? Going to be consciously looking for the sub, and I think there's a really good chance that happens. Daniel Huber by submission, we pretty much talked about that already, and then Kevin Holland by submission, we talked about that already. So, this is it. 5 legs, just got to hit two, and we make some money. We profit off this immensely. Hopefully we hit more. So Feel free to do this by two, by three in terms of round robin, whatever you want to do. But I love this. I'm also gonna put out a long shot parlay. I think it was like plus 2,000, plus 2,500. Hit the Go Boys Discord if you want that. But yeah, that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. We'll get to the chat one more time. They were recently in Nashville too. Grasso's flyweight, Brandon Moreno. Yeah, you said, yeah, I love that. I love that. Great fighters, exciting fighters, but beatable. Yep. Poirier versus Holloway 2 was on that card. Oh, on the yeah, on the Izzy and Gaslam card. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. Convinced me to lock in Rosa's first round sub. Yeah, the only reason why Rosas is not in this round robin is because his sub is minus 175. But yeah, I mean, I think Terrence Mitchell, specifically his sub defense, I think is good enough to maybe survive the first 5 minutes. So if you want some close to playable action, maybe do like a submission combo prop, which is on FanDuel. Maybe do round one, round two sub. I think my boy Rosas is live for a knockout as well. I think he can knock him out as easily as he can submit him. Obviously, he's looking for the sub, but I think knockout is possible too. Kyle Nelson wins that fight. Wow. That's a hot take right there. Arosa is a major can and Padilla's only fight in the UFC. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Padilla is unproven still, right? We got question marks about Padilla, which is why I stayed away from that fight. I did not back anything in that fight. I hated that fight. I hated the minus 250 you got to lay on Padilla. I didn't really like any props. That's why I just kind of sprinkled and threw him in here. So I could see it. I could see it. I could see Kyle Nelson winning, especially the way he's been fighting as of late. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. That is all I got for you guys. Went through what, 7 fights, 7, 8 fights. You guys got a little round robin. Hopefully make some money off of that. Um, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a great night. Like I said, not the flashiest card, not the biggest names on the card, but it's gonna be a great card. I think from bottom to top, from top to bottom, I think this is an extremely solid card. It's absolutely free as well. So I love the action we have out today. You guys got all my action. That is every single bet that I placed. And you guys got it here on the Go Boys network. So I appreciate you guys for being here. We're gonna make a shit ton of money tonight. You feel me? We're gonna make a shit ton of money tonight. If you guys agree with that, let me see a little dollar sign in the chat. Let me see a little dollar sign in the chat. If you're watching this after the fact, put a dollar sign in the comments. We're gonna make a shit ton of money tonight, and we're gonna cash some tickets. So I appreciate you guys being here. You guys had the chat bumping, which I appreciate. My man YBB was in the chat. Always appreciate you. I recognize a lot of you. Yeah, I recognize a lot of these names in the chat, so I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Yeah, I was a little nervous, coming in, doing this alone. You know what I'm saying? I love talking fights, don't get me wrong, but doing this alone for the first time, a little nerve-wracking, but we got through it. I think we did pretty well. I think we're gonna make a lot of money, like I said. So yeah, one last shout out to the sponsors. The sponsors will makes all of this possible. So Sleeper Picks, like we said at the top, the best DFS option, legal in a bunch of states. Go on that website and you'll see kind of where it's legal at. And they are running a promo for Tyreek Hill over just a half, just one receiving yard, and we know he's going to do that. So a little bit of a free square on Sleeper. Use code GoldBoys on there. Get a little deposit match. Hall of Fame bets. Hall of Fame bets. One of the best premium research tools available on the market. Again, use code GoldBoys. Get a nice little discount there. And Pickett. We've been referencing Pickett the whole time. You have to shop odds. You have to make sure you're getting the best odds. You are going to sacrifice so much money day in and day out. If you're paying minus 150 and you could be paying minus 120 somewhere. So use Pickett, 100% free. Use the code Go Boys. You'll get some free money when you link a sports book on there. Yeah, and that's all I got for you. Shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to the people. I don't really know shit about UFC, but the main people. So this is definitely great for me, bro. Yeah, that's the goal. We want to try to get back to the people, inform the people. For those of you that don't know, and just have fun, right? Have fun talking fights and make money while we're doing it. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to my producer in the back. Hidden. He's hidden. You guys don't see him. You guys don't hear him, but he is not forgotten. Putting a lot of work behind the scenes. So shout out to you. Shout out to Go Boys. Hopefully we're gonna do this consistently. Hopefully it's gonna be every Friday. We're working on some stuff, but yeah, I will see you guys when I see you guys. Have fun tonight. Let's make some money. Bet responsibly, and yeah, shout out to you guys. I'm out of here.